Hello, Yellow Jackets, and welcome to the 2021-2022 school year. As you know, Miss Jessica and I are super excited to be back to school, and we are looking forward to an amazing year. So, I wanted to put together a slide deck with Miss Jessica, and these are our must-knows for this school year.
Yes, and thank you for tuning in at Open House to these. If you guys are listening to them, the first recording, but also all of this information in the slide deck is going to be available on our website using that new QR code that you guys are getting on your magnet tonight at Open House.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yes, they are.
Save the date. The first Tuesday of every month, I will be hosting. It's called Jacket Java. And this actually, Tuesday, September 7th, will be our first one. It's from 7 a.m. to 7:45 in the K8 gym. And we are going to be, every month will be a new topic, but we're going to start out with Power School and Google Classroom for parents because that is a very important thing. And you will want to know how to use that, especially because your kids use it quite a bit here at school.
Yes.
I will have coffee, so if you need coffee, you can definitely have that. And I'll also have periodically from on other dates some guest speakers that are coming in. So save that date, the first Tuesday of every month.
Yes, and we'll also be recording those jacket Javas so that they're available on our website using that same system as you can access this slide deck.
Next slide is our arrival and dismissal times. Our doors will open at 7:40 a.m. with a 7:50 start time. So parents and loved ones, you're always welcome to walk your students up to the door, but are not allowed to walk your Yellow Jackets to class. This helps decrease our student outbursts in the morning or students who struggle with some separation. It gives them that independence to walk up to class on their own. Plus, it keeps our hallways safer and allows our teachers to get right to teaching.
Yeah.
And dismissal time is 2:45. We have 14 early dismissals this year. They are on Wednesdays. They are built into the school calendar. You can actually access that school calendar. We'll have a link that will be on our website so you can see those early dismissal days. And that is, students are getting out at 2:05.
Yep. And also, if you guys are listening to this at Open House, that's that orange one pager that you might have seen in the office. So feel free to pick up kind of that tangible paper copy of your school calendar if you'd like to as well.
Absences and pickup changes. Absences. If your student is absent, call our attendance line at your earliest convenience. That number is a 524 number and is 524-6650. If you have pickup changes or your student's going to be riding a different bus home, being picked up early, call the office before 12 noon so we have enough time to notify the teacher.
Yes, that way we can make sure that we get notes up to the classroom and that everybody knows where they're going.
Meals at school. All students will qualify for free breakfast and lunch again this year, which is amazing.
It is amazing.
Please encourage your student to utilize these free meals. They are truly free and accessible to everyone. There is an additional form that needs to be completed by all households. If you were here at registration, you would have gotten that form. We also have some more here in the office. This helps our school district to receive a variety of state and federal funding. So if you haven't completed that household information report, please stop by the office and pick up one of those. That is completely confidential information, so no one will be seeing that information except for the person who runs that report.
Exactly. And I've heard a couple of questions at registration. If my student packs a lunch every day, is this still a form that I need to fill out? Yes, please, because this information kind of goes towards the entire district. So your information, even if your student packs their lunch every day, is still important for us to have on this report. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we have a digital version of this form as we get further into the school year. And if and when we do, we'll be posting that on the website as well.
Also, with our breakfast this year, just as a reminder, we have breakfast pickup spots for the kids as they come to school. So encourage your kids to pick up that breakfast. They will go to their classroom and eat those. They do, however, this year is something new. They do not have to take a milk if they don't want to.
Perfect. And now I'm thinking of another thing for breakfast. Even if your student eats breakfast at home, it may be beneficial to encourage them to still pick one up when they get to school. A lot of the items in the breakfast are kind of shelf stable items, so they can save them for snack later. because I know a lot of our younger kiddos, especially, get hungry throughout the day. So,
especially if they have an early lunch
or a very late lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fact. Yeah.
So just grab one.
And did you know how to contact your student's teacher? And do they know how to get a hold of you? It is normal for each classroom teacher to prefer a different way to communicate between home and classroom, but what's important is that you know and understand which platform they use. So if you have questions, ask your child's teacher. A lot of our teachers use email and they communicate through email daily. It is also important that our office has an accurate email address, phone number, and mailing address for your family. We do communicate a lot through email. So if you haven't put an email address on the registration forms, you can always get a hold of the secretaries in the office and make sure that we have one.
Yes.
Chromebooks. Just like last year, all of our students at Concord Schools will be issued a Chromebook, charger, and a bag. We understand that managing technology like this is a lot of responsibility for students, but to continue to believe that access to technology is a vital in all of our grade levels. Depending on your child's grade level, they may actually keep their Chromebooks at school, but the older grade levels for sure will be taking those back and forth daily. So make sure that you do charge those at home every night. If you have a question about those Chromebooks and whether or not they're going to be coming home each day, check with your child's teacher.
Yeah.
If your family has any outstanding repairs or balances from last year that may inhibit your student's ability to access a Chromebook this year, you can check with Becky Clark. Her number at the school is 517-867-6125. Headphones and water bottles, very important. Does your child have a pair of reliable headphones to use for school? And possibly a backup
yes,
pair.
Maybe a backup pair.
I even have a couple backup pairs in my desk here. But and how about a reusable water bottle? We do have water filling stations all over the school, and we really encourage our students to have a water bottle in the classroom with them for the day. And they're important school supplies for every K-8 student to have. Most Yellow Jackets will use both of these things quite often throughout the course of the day.
And they are the two things that seem to get lost the most.
Absolutely. I would not suggest a pair of Bose headphones.
No, just cheapo headphones is fine.
Absolutely.
Totally fine. And even, plug-in headphones, we get a lot of questions about whether or not the headphones have to be Bluetooth enabled. No, they do not. We're not saying go out and get AirPods for all of your kiddos. Those plug-in headphones are absolutely fine.
This message pertains mostly to middle school families, but however, we do have some elementary students that do have cell phones. Students who bring cell phones to school are asked to keep them powered off or silent, out of sight for the entirety of the school day. Students are always welcome to use the office phone to contact parents or guardians, although we do ask that, like some of the kids will ask, well, can I have a friend over after school? This needs to be happening outside of the normal school day.
Yes.
So these cell phones definitely need to be powered off. They need to be out of sight. We encourage the kids to keep them in their lockers throughout the course of the day.
And if you're concerned about a cell phone being in a locker because perhaps your locker doesn't have a lock, students can always keep their phones in the office for the day and we can return them at the end of the day. Yep. That's fine too.
And our offenses for students who chronically use their cell phones throughout the course of the day: the first offense, the phone is taken to the office. It can be picked up by the student at the end of the day. Second offense, the phone is taken to the office and must be picked up by a parent or a guardian at the end of the day. So please talk to your children about the cell phones.
Yes. I'll take this one. So we are bringing back our Yellow Jacket of the Week K-8 this year, and some of the traits will hopefully look familiar to our students and hopefully some of our folks at home as well. As a school, we believe that these traits are the traits that our Yellow Jackets need to embody and learn more about so we are going to be working in some kind of special surprises around our Trait of the Week and recognition opportunities for students so that they can truly show us what they've learned throughout the year about those social, emotional, different learning points. If you would like more information about our traits or social, emotional learning as a whole, please navigate to the SEL page using the new QR code on the magnet you're given at Open House. If you weren't at Open House and didn't receive one of these QR code magnets, we will have extras in the office. So stop in or have your kids swing in and grab one for you. I'm really excited about all the trades that we're going to be exploring this year, and we truly do have some really fun opportunities for the kids to show us just what they know about it. So if you don't know about our Yellow Jacket traits or you'd like more information about social emotional learning, you can always reach out to me, Miss Jessica, too. I love to talk about it. So you are welcome to do that as well.
I'm super excited about this slide, okay?
Yes.
Because it's the new classes that we are offering at the elementary and at the middle school this year. One of the things that Miss Jessica, myself, Miss Hutchinson really are passionate about is hearing student voice. And our students overwhelmingly last year when they took the survey were wanting some new classes offered for them.
Yes.
And we were able to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So at our K-5 level, we are allowed.
Allowed.
We are definitely going to be offering some art for our elementary kids, STEM, and Project Lead the Way, which I'm super excited about all three of those courses.
Mm-hmm. Very hands-on classes.
Absolutely, very hands-on classes. And in the 6-8 building, we have Project Lead the Way, developing a Yellow Jacket class, which that class will be 3 days of gym and then 1 day of passion project, where students will get to work on a passion for the first semester and create a presentation about that passion. And then they will also have 1 day of working on some social emotional learning pieces. The second half of that class, the second half of the year, we'll do career exploration one of those days, and also continuing on with the social emotional learning. Yep. So that class has 3 days of gym for the first 9 weeks, and then the second 9 weeks of the year before we end up that first semester will be tech, and then it flips back to gym and then back to tech. So
it's a very busy class.
Very busy class.
You won't be bored.
And probably the overwhelming class that everybody wanted was the life skills class.
Which really surprised us, but it was really heartening to hear that from our kids that they were interested in it.
And our life skills class is basically just home ec. So they're going to learn about cooking, and they're going to learn about a lot of skills and things that they need to learn when they're become adults.
Yes.
Or even now.
Yeah.
And we have a developing an athlete class that students will be taking or have an option to take. That's a semester course. And all of our 7-8 students will be taking health every 9 weeks.
We're very excited about. We get to borrow Miss Sigmund from the high school for that class.
It's going to be awesome. And Concord Athletics. Mr. Lehman is our athletic director here at Concord. If you didn't have a chance to talk to him at open house, you could swing by his table in the gym, or you can just contact him.
Yes.
That's probably an easier way sometimes to contact him. He's a busy man. He's all over the place.
He is all over the place.
One thing to remember, if your student is planning on participating in athletics, they have to have a physical on file, and it has to be dated after April 15th. So if they had a physical before April 15th of last year, that is no longer valid. So they will need a new one. Middle school details. 2 new things middle school students always want to know. How much time do I get between classes? Students, you get 4 minutes of passing time between each class. If they don't use time wisely and they get to class late, they will get a tardy. And chronic tardies result in detentions. And usually those detentions are lunch detentions, although we have done some after-school detentions before.
And guys, you have access to e-hall pass during your class periods too, in a set number of passes. So if you need to use the bathroom or fill up your water bottle or get something you forgot out of your locker, you can always do that if you don't think you'll be able to make it in those 4 minutes between classes.
Yes. And that other question. So I get a locker, right? Yes. Every middle school student gets a locker. It is up to the family to provide a lock if they want. If the locker must be opened and it has a lock on it, I do have cutters available to get that lock off, because I have forgotten combinations before too. So
yeah, I just had a conversation with a new 6th grader about that yesterday.
Do you want to take this slide?
I will. So a question that we got kind of for the first time last year is, my student has a Google account, and depending on the age of the student, parents were a little bit surprised about the answer. But yes, all Jackson County students are now assigned a Google account specific to their district when they enroll. So younger students, talking mostly K4, use this account to access content on Google Classroom. But starting around fifth grade, students have access to a Gmail account or an email account, which is utilized often by their classroom teacher.
Mhm.
So especially at the middle school level, our teachers are emailing students quite often using their Gmail account. By the time a student is in middle school, they are learning about in class and will hopefully understand how to use Google Slides, Google Calendar, Google Classroom, and how to check their Gmail, which is pretty awesome to have that whole skill set done by the time you're out of middle school. Please, 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 if you have an older student, one that has access to their Gmail account, remind them to check their email. This is a primary way that teachers are going to be communicating, and also how to clean their inbox.
Yeah, we did a lot of helping with that last
Yes,
year.
we did.
Just helping students organize their Gmail.
Yes.
And delete old messages.
And the awesome thing about our students all having access to the Google Suite is that if they know how to use their Google Calendar, they should have no problem keeping on top of what assignments are due when. It all auto populates from Google Classroom. So this is a huge kind of tool for them to learn how to use. And again, if you have any interest in learning more about Google Classroom, the Google Suite, and kind of PowerSchool that links along with this, that's the first Jack of Java. So plan to attend that.
What is modern classroom? Now, I'm sure that buzzword was coming around last year, as we spent a lot of time being virtual at some point or here at school. So many and many of our teachers used the modern classroom last year, and it is a teaching model which the majority of our staff is trained in, and we also have several staff members who are experts.
Yes, so they're training other people.
They are, yes. It leverages technology to give students the opportunity to learn at a more individualized and self-paced way. For example, a teacher may use a pre-recorded lecture, so students can access that lecture at any time, which is amazing because if you forget a couple things, you can always go back and watch that video again.
Exactly. If you were a student like me, sometimes you've got to listen to it 2-3 times.
Absolutely. It also gives the opportunity for teachers to spend time with students who are struggling on a concept while the others are actually working through a new concept.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely love the modern classroom.
That might have to be one of our Jack of Java topics
I'm sure.
at some point.
Yep. Checking grades. Many of our Yellow Jacket families, especially those with students in grades 5 through 8, need to keep an eye on your students' grades. So K4 students, the best way to check grades or see if your students are missing work is to contact your student's teacher directly. But at the upper grades, when we start thinking about fifth graders, because we're getting them ready for middle school, through the 6th through 8th grade, we use PowerSchool. And if you do not have access to PowerSchool, we can get you login information for that. Mrs. Stevens has it here in the office. It only takes us a quick second to print that information off. But check your child's grades. I would do that weekly. Mr. Lehman does pull academic eligibility reports. He pulls those on Sundays.
Yep. And again, if you have any questions about PowerSchool, what it is, how to access anything using it, come to that first Jack of Java and we'll run you through at least the basics.
Yeah. And that's it, guys. So welcome back to the Hive. And we're happy to have you back for the 2021-2022 school year. And we cannot wait to get started.
Super excited. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to us anytime.